And here in Brazil, I mean, people will try and kiss you before they know your name.
People are dating so many people at the same time. It's sometimes very confusing.
I don't date Brazilians, only Portuguese.
Why?
Because I have my girlfriend there.
Where are you from?
I'm from London.
I come from Morocco.
I'm from Finland.
I'm from New Jersey, United States of America.
I'm from Helsinki, Finland.
Colombia.
Portugal.
My mom's Brazilian, my dad's American. I was born in Hong Kong, lived in Hong Kong, California, Tampa, Miami, Hawaii, Porto Alegre, and Rio.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
How long have you been in Brazil?
1 year and a half.
I've been here since 2019.
Oh my gosh, I've been here 18 years.
I've been to Rio a few times for work, for vacation, but I recently moved here. So this is my second week permanently living here.
So I used to live here for 4 years and then I moved back to Helsinki. But these days, because I work from home, I come and go. So now I'm here for 1 month.
Almost 2 weeks.
It's been about 15 years now.
What's your favorite thing about living in Brazil?
I think it's lifestyle. Like I feel lighter living here. The people are so much more open than Scandinavians.
Beautiful people, lots of culture, lots of things going on every day. Beach, forest, everything you need.
We have our similarities because of our history, but they are really outgoing, really welcoming. I think that's the main difference in personality.
On a general note, there's this sense of brotherhood. Since I have family here, he has family here.
Yeah.
You know someone that has family here,
I feel like they're my brothers as well. So
we are somewhat related.
They have amazing music here. The culture is very interesting. There's big cities, there's amazing beaches, like there's something for everyone.
It's very warm, embracing. People are incredibly welcoming to the point that they're actually quite nosy and in your face.
Pêssego, geladão, soco na mente peteleco. Teu dinheiro dobrado, com direito ao experimente.
I'm half Italian, so I'm kind of used to that chaos and the loudness, but I don't think anything prepares you for Brazil.
Are you finding that it's easy to make friends here?
Yes and no. They're always like, come to my house. It's nice to meet you. Let's be friends. And that doesn't always mean that. So it's just like nice small talk.
They can be friendly with anybody, and this is a good thing about it. But it gives like, a false impression that, I think we're gonna become really close friends or the best friends in the world. I think most of the time it's not the case. I've got some Brazilian friends who became really close friends, but it took a long time.
So what are some things that you like better about Brazil, and what are some things you like better about Portugal?
Weather. Better here.
Safety.
Portugal. I prefer the food here, but they're gonna prefer the Portuguese one.
People are so much more family oriented here. Like it's very common that Sundays are always spent together as a family, like having lunch together. I'm very close with my family, but I feel like there's a huge difference. People are so much more individual, independent, back in Helsinki, in Finland, where I'm from.
What's your least favorite thing about living in Brazil?
Security, some places.
The Brazilians are very late, the Brazilian Standard Time essentially, but my family's Indian too, so I can pretty much compete with that. I correlate with that too because we're almost late to all things as well. For example, we try to make an appointment, I don't know, on the beach or the nightclub, and I ask them, okay, let's meet up somewhere. They're like, oh yeah, of course, let's do it. Or sometimes it doesn't happen because they don't want to be direct. Sometimes they don't want to say, okay, I can't, sorry, I'm not going to make it.
Is there anything that you really don't like about Brazil?
Oh, can I say? As many people might know that Finland is a very strict country. Like we obey the rules. We are very obeying people and honest, and we always on time. So here is basically the opposite. This is like kind of chaotic and it's a kind of jungle rules. So
One thing that I don't like is the swimsuit they use that is really small. For me, it's kind of bizarre. Just use a short.
Yeah, in Colombia, people dress a little more conservatively day to day, right? Yeah. Are there any stereotypes that you find to be particularly true or untrue about Brazilians?
I think that Brazilians are very happy. I do find it true. They are happy. They do like partying. They do like dancing like really hard to the floor, like in their own Brazilian way.
well, my mom said when I was a kid that don't trust Latinos, and I think that is sometimes true.
I think a lot of people think that, especially Brazilian women, they think that Brazilian women are really loose and slutty and all that kind of stuff. And I think they'll find that that's not really the case. They're just a lot more friendly. They're just a lot more, down to to earth, and they're not as, they don't have their nose up in the air as much.
Is there anything that you're finding that's not true?
The classes are very high comparing to Finland. We don't have like that elite group and high middle class and poor as we have here. I would say that the poor people, they are extremely kind. It's not saying that all of them are criminals. It's just a few parts of it. So,
what are your experiences dating in Brazil?
I've dated a lot here, and it's so different from dating back in Europe. It's very, very different.
In London particularly, people can be a bit more reserved. They take a little longer to warm up. And here in Brazil, I mean, people will try and kiss you before they know your name. My friend Ryan always says in Brazil, a kiss is like a handshake.
They are so much less shy here, but I think Cariocas are even less shy than anyone else, like Brazilians in general.
Have you noticed that men approach differently here in Colombia, or is it the same?
Really different. Really different. I think that in Colombia, guys think that they need to say a lot of things that are not true and trying to convince you that it's not just a flirt, that you're special just for one kiss. And here, like I was saying, is they're really straightforward. It's like, okay, so I think you're pretty and I want to kiss you. So for us, we are used to that. The guy started like flirting, then dancing, then saying things. But I think I prefer straightforward, that all that things that they say is not true. It's like, okay, I know it's not true, I'm not dumb.
Do you like that men are more likely to approach you here than, for instance, in Finland?
Yeah, like I prefer it so much more the way it happens here. It's so much more natural.
The United States has a very different cultural situation with dating. Here, everyone's a lot more friendly, a lot more engaged in conversation and willing to meet new people and go on different adventures with those people.
You have to separate dating in Brazil to Brazil, Rio, and then Carnaval, because those three concepts and those three contexts are completely different.
They're like very sexual, like openly sexual, very straightforward.
Women and men, they are both really open. So in Colombia, it's more like the guys are trying to make up with girls, and here is like the guy can do some approach, but also girls, if they see someone that they like, they're gonna be like, hey, hello, kiss me.
My favorite thing is that, people are so engaging from the get-go. People don't hold back. They wear their heart on their sleeve. They'll tell you immediately how they feel. So there's no guessing. My least favorite thing about dating in Brazil, I think, is sometimes people can be a bit too casual when it comes to, say, commitment or following through with plans, with being maybe more serious. There's this idea of a gente ficar. We are just staying together. We are together. And it's kind of very fleeting. And it's, in some ways it's beautiful, but in other ways it's incredibly frustrating.
In the beginning, I think they open doors for you. This doesn't happen in Helsinki that much. But then again, I don't know, like people are dating so many people at the same time. It's sometimes very confusing. And
do you think it's more common to date multiple people here in Brazil or in Finland?
It's so much more common here to date multiple people at the same time. Like in Helsinki, you usually focus on one person at a time, but I think that's a very Scandinavian thing.
It's more like the Latino culture that we had in Europe in the 50s, that women are, say, home moms and we don't work, and guys are the head of the family. So I think it's still more that culture here.
It's a very good sign when the guy pays here. Sometimes if they want to split, it's because they assume I have a lot of money because I come from Europe, and that's a really bad sign.
How are you finding the men to be in Brazil so far?
They like the chase, they like the hunt. The men can be kind of flaky in terms of their planning or like trying to meet again or getting more serious. But they definitely like the excitement and the newness.
What do you think the differences in dating are between Portugal and Brazil?
Me coming from Portugal, like I had 5 matches a day and that was it. Like you expired the whole Tinder game in one day. I came here and as I told you, I had family here and I was like swiping and it never stops. It never stops. I think they are more
direct.
Yeah, direct. I think that's the word. I don't want to offend anyone, but it's a good thing. Maybe in Portugal we're a little bit more
even though like both countries have a lot of like a big religious background, I think that people here, like women, are a little bit more empowered than in Portugal, maybe. I don't know.
And you, what are you finding are the differences?
I don't date Brazilians, only Portuguese.
Why?
Because I have my girlfriend there.
Okay, good answer. Do you find that people are more jealous here in Brazil?
They are so much more jealous here in Brazil.
I had some partners who were extremely jealous and possessive with me because they thought that I would cheat on them. I was just trying to understand why they were thinking that way, but it's also part of the culture. So my partners tended to be very jealous and possessive with me because of their past experiences.
Do you think people are more likely to cheat here in Brazil?
100%. No doubt about it. I mean, my ex-boyfriend kissed somebody else in front of my face on New Year's Eve. So, I mean, that kind of tells you everything you need to know.
They wear like clothes really, really tight, and they don't care if you are skinny, fat, like it looks good on you and you like it, it's okay and nobody's going to judge you. Maybe there's a little bit different in other Latin American countries. What I think also is that you can dress really, really sexy and it doesn't mean anything.
Obviously, people here are obsessed with their bodies. Like, there's flesh on display everywhere, constantly. And I do feel in Europe, like, of course, less is more. The kind of, you're more mysterious in how you dress and, you know, it's still very sexual, it can be. But here it's very provocative, right? It's very like in your face. Shorts are like knickers for us, you know, they're so short. A crop top is like showing my boobs. So yeah, that takes a lot of getting used to, that beach culture and that kind of obsession with how you look constantly. With Instagram, you know, people's Instagram will just be, every tile will just be a picture of themselves posing. And that, honestly, coming from a place that's a bit colder in temperature, but also in personality, that also took a lot of getting used to. I live opposite a CrossFit gym, and so it doesn't matter what time of day I leave my house, whether it's 7 a.m., 7 p.m. I'm reminded really in an exaggerated way of that classic gym bro stereotype of Brazil, the sleeve tattoos, the huge pecs, all the flesh on display. And so, yeah, there's definitely that stereotype, that kind of Rio Carioca beach stereotype. And when you come from Europe, you feel like such a prude.
How have you changed since coming to Brazil to live here?
Since moving to Brazil, I've become much calmer, especially here in Rio. You learn, you know, service is not the greatest, you know, things take a while, but you learn just to, you know, chill the fuck out. Like, you know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually, you know?
My patience. Here, if you have a dentist at 4 o'clock, it's not 4 o'clock. It could be 5:30, and they always say it's the traffic. But it's always the traffic, you know? Every day is the traffic. I've learned that nothing that they say actually it's true or happens at the time that they say it will. So
I think I'm more open, and I think I'm getting a lot of more perspective on life.
I always thought that I was open-minded even when I was still in my country, in Morocco. But I realized that I was not open-minded enough when I first came here.
I'm a lot more open than I would have been in America, essentially. Here, you're meeting new people, doing new things, and you're just going to have the time of your life experiencing new experiences, essentially.
Finland is supposed to be one of the happiest countries in the world. Do you feel like it's more happy in Finland or in Brazil?
I would say in Finland, if you look the overall, you can trust the government, you can trust the police, you can trust the security, you can trust basically everything. So we have more nature. I mean, Rio is a beautiful place, but the jungle is not safe. The beach is always crowded, it's polluted. So we don't have the touch of nature as we might have in Finland, I think.
Have you traveled to other parts of Brazil?
Yeah, I've traveled to the northeast, Ceará, Jericoacoara. I've been to the south, to Florianopolis. Then I've been to Sao Paulo multiple times. I've been to Bahia, Salvador there, and then a national park there. And yeah, I've traveled around.
Are you noticing any differences between the regions?
Yeah, like there's so many differences between the regions. And I think that's what makes it super interesting.
It's kind of like their own countries. Where you go south, it's more German, Italian, like strict cultures. So everybody says that everybody looks like me and probably looks like you because there's a lot of German, Italian roots there.
And the further you go up north, generally it tends to be more relaxed. You know, everybody's just calm. Let's go to the beach. Let's do our thing, whatever, you know. So
Rio is the place that I'm stuck. I have 2 kids, so I'm living here. But my favorite city is Sao Paulo. It's more organized and more kind of like European style.
Sao Paulo is such a concrete city. It's just full of skyscrapers or you know, tall buildings. People are very different too. They tend to be very serious because, you know, they work too much, and then after that either they go back home or they go just, you know, a bar. And here you can do whatever you like. After work you go directly to the beach, and it's very easy to meet your friends. You can like make an appointment with them at the last minute, and that's what I like about Cariocas in general.